Welcome to Keep Your Hands in Your Skirt podcast with your host, Sabrina Brightstar. Are you a woman who manages her own set point? Use the universal laws of the universe to raise your vibration. Be a woman who can receive more pleasure, more fun, and more joy. Together, let's claim our infinite worth. Keep Your Hands in Your Skirt is a fun way to remind yourself to mind your own business. Zero in on you and your desires. Say goodbye to judgments and people-pleasing. Join Sabrina and be a woman who can receive, create, and actualize everything you desire.
Hello and welcome. Keep your hand in your skirt. Have you been keeping your hand in your skirt, minding your own business, managing your vibration? My name is Sabrina. I am your host, Keep Your Hand in Your Skirt podcast. Today's topic, we're going to go in a deep dive on another cult. What? Another cult? How many cults are there? I don't know if you guys remember, but I had done a show last year in 2022 about Bentinho from A Little Bit Culty. There's a podcast called A Little Bit Culty where there are two people that were in a cult, The Vow, and they were able to get out, and now they're helping people who have been in cults, trying to get deprogrammed, trying to acclimate back right after all of the stress, the PTSD that happens when you're in a cult. If you don't remember, I have been in a cult. I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses for over 10 years. I am not a victim, so I do not take the point of view that anyone in a cult has a victim mindset. I do believe we incarnated on a planet with polarity, and many of us chose to be in narcissistic, abusive relationships or organizations or religions in order for our own personal evolution and growth. I do believe life happens for me. So even though I have been a victim, I don't consider myself a victim. I consider that I am a powerful creator, and I chose to get involved in narcissist relationship, cult-like religions in order to serve me, to help me, right? The value, how did it serve me? The value is it helped me learn about me, helped me learn to use my voice to self-protect, helped me to use my eyes of discernment, my eyes of caution, to be aware that there are manipulators, there are abusive people out there. It has helped me to know that inside is all my power. I am a sovereign being, and I can take care of me. So, I'm not a victim, even though I have some victim stories to share with you. So what is the latest cult that I want to talk about today? Well, it came to my attention this week that an organization that I actually really like has abusive sexual abuse. And I found out about it on a Facebook page. Post. It's a public Facebook post that I'm going to put in the show notes. So if you're interested, you can read for yourself. And a woman named Lauren Marie shared this public Facebook post about how she got out, hashtag I got out too. And the organization is Access Consciousness. And if you have listened to me, you've heard me talk about different things from Access Consciousness. I have liked a lot of the tools in Access Consciousness. For example, their definition of consciousness. Consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. I love that definition. That definition rings true in my body. That statement is true for me. So how can something be true? How can you love something and be aware that it also can be a manipulating, controlling organization? And that's what I want to talk about today. I'm hoping that I can highlight or share with you that we have the ability to use and. Like another thing Access Consciousness says is a lie or a truth with a lie attached to it. This is an and principle. If you study psychology, you know that the human brain wants to be congruent. So we want to, if you've decided something is bad, we want to be like you are bad, period. We don't want to be you are bad and you can be good. Like the way our human brain is designed is we want to be congruent with one pure thought. And so when you're saying something that appears to be contradictory, that appears to be like you're being hypocritical, it's two concepts available or both being true at the same time. And this is like one of the things as you study psychology, like often like with parenting, a child will feel safe with a parent and feel unsafe with a parent. Now they sound like they shouldn't be true, right? But it is true. It is true that you can, on one hand, you can feel safe with the parent and you run to the parent. And on the other hand, you can also know from your own experience that the parent can be abusive. So you can feel safe and you can feel unsafe. So both can be true at the same time. So when we think of that and concept with spirituality, with religion, with organizations, mentors, teachers, leaders, we want to use eyes of discernment, eyes of skeptical, eyes of caution when we turn our power over to an organization, a person, an organization that, yes, they can have great tools. Yes, they can give you information that helps with your evolution, that gives you ahas that are spiritually like, oh, wow, this is accelerating or assisting me in my understanding of multidimensionality, understanding my conscious concepts. And we also are aware that there can be manipulation and distortion. So what did I discover from Lauren Marie? Lauren Marie talks about access consciousness, and it's sad. Like, it's really sad because, right? Like, I have such a pure heart, and so many of us, we're so innocent, and we care so much, and we love so deeply, and we want good people to be good, or we want the people that like teach us or inspire us. We want that, right? Like, we don't want to know their shadow side. We don't want them to be victims or perpetrators. So it is sad, right? It is sad, but it's just awareness and information for you. So in her public Facebook post, she is talking about what access has done to her. And then the really, really sad part is, over the last I looked, there was over 250 comments, and so many people are popping on to her thread talking about their story. Hashtag I got out too. And the new thing for me, the thing that I had never seen or read or realized with access consciousness before, is the sexual abuse. So again, I'm just reading it. I have not investigated. Whoa, whoopsie, sorry about that. I have not investigated the other side. I'm just sharing with you what I read, and it's sad. And so I did also want to tell you my personal experience with access consciousness. I found access consciousness, I don't know, like 6-7 years ago. And, well, I didn't like it initially. They kept sending me like videos from Dr. Dane, and his, like something about his energy was not a match for me. But then somebody sent me something from Corey Michelle. She used to be in the organization, and I liked her energy. So I was attracted to it because of Corey Michelle. And then I started, right? So when I started listening to other people besides Dane and how other people's filters or the way they expressed their knowing and the tools, like I found an attraction, right? And I listened to several different things. I have been to 2 foundation classes. I have been to Choice of Possibilities class. I had thought like I would be so good at being a facilitator for this organization because I just know, like, I just knew I would this would be so fun to be a teacher of this information. But at the time when I was thinking, or I was attracted to it, I researched how much it would cost to become a facilitator, and you have to go take different classes and you have to travel to specific places in order to get the classes. And just to become a facilitator was going to cost at that time, I don't know what it is now, but at that time it was, when I added it all up, it was between $25,000 and $30,000, depending on where the different places I would have to travel to. And then they have an annual license. So once you get a license, then you still have to do an annual license. And at that time, when I calculated what it would cost to keep renewing my license every year, it was $20,000 to $25,000. And the other thing I was aware of, once you become a facilitator and you start using their tools, like the clearing statement and the different tools, when you start teaching using their tools, you do not own your information. They own your information because you're using their tools. And I am aware, I don't know if you know this about me, but I am a person who always gets fired. I have never had a full-time job. The part-time jobs that I've had, I would say over 75% of them, I have been fired because I am a person who has a hard time following rules, and I'm rebellious, and I don't like to be told what to do by anyone. So I knew that even though I was drawn to access consciousness, even though I was drawn to how fun it would be to be a facilitator for them, I was very aware I would get kicked out. I was very aware I have the personality type, the personality style, that I would find something I disagreed with and I would not be able to be submissive to the rules. So I was very aware that I would get kicked out. So I never joined. But I still liked the information. And as I started to attend the classes, it was like bittersweet because I liked the information, but I saw a lot of bullshit. Like when I went to Choice of Possibilities, I called my friend and she's like, what do you think? What do you think? And I'm like, I'm undecided. Either Gary Douglas is the biggest asshole or he's brilliant. Like I'm undecided. But as I watched, when I was there, it was a 3-day thing in Houston, Texas. Was that last year in 2022? And yeah, it was last year in 2022. And there was just so much hierarchy, right? Like it felt like high school. Like there were the popular kids, they were the wannabes, they were the people trying hard. Like it was not inclusive. It did not, like I thought I was going to go there and find a lot of like-minded friendships. I thought I was going to find a lot of people who like love consciousness the way I love consciousness. And I thought I would be finding like sincere, like good friends because we had like really big things in common. But like the new people, I did like the new people, but the people that were there, like it was definitely a hierarchy. I went to my second foundation in Florida last year, and again, in the beginning, I really liked the facilitator. The way she processed, I loved it. But at the same time, I could feel so much competitive energy. And what I realized is most people in these classes are trying to become facilitators, and then they're competing with each other. So there's not a camaraderie or togetherness or an inclusive energy. It's like, oh, are you trying to become a facilitator? Like there's this, why are you taking this class? Do you want to be a facilitator? Because then it's like more competition because, right? Like, I don't know. It was just bizarre. It was like, oh, this didn't, like, I could just feel like competition, competitive energy, not in a good way. But while I was in the class, I started noticing like, it felt like there's contradictory information. So, for example, the teacher was facilitating, and I can't think of the name of the girl. She's from Ireland. She had this really cute accent. But anyway, so she's facilitating, and she is telling us we need to do body work. That's fine. Like I came to the class, I'm willing to do, like I'll do the body work and run bars and da-da-da-da-da. So she's talking, I'd been running bars, I don't know, half an hour maybe, I don't know. And I was done. So I took my hands off of the body that I was working on. And then she like tried to shame me and tried to tell me I had to get my hands back on his body, that the process wasn't done. And I thought, well, that's contradictory because isn't it my body that's telling me when the process is done? And then she tried to say, well, Gary Douglas says this process needs to last 45 to 60 minutes. And I thought, again, isn't that hypocritical? Because isn't what you access people teach that trust you, like, and so you and your body know. So why do I need to do what she says Gary Douglas told her? Like, why do I have to follow Gary Douglas's body process, right? Like, so Gary didn't say it. She was speaking on his behalf, telling me her point of view about how I had to do this body process. And what she doesn't know is I have 30 plus years in the energy work, right? Like, I know bodies. I know my body and I know other bodies. I have an enormous amount of experience and I was done. I was complete. But the fact that she wanted to shame me, right? And then she was, like saying, how do you know his body's done? And I'm like, cause I do, it's done. So she goes and she touches his body and she's like, oh, his body's not done. His body is available for more. And so then it was really great. Somebody in the class said, well, maybe his body is telling you yes, but maybe his body is done with Sabrina. So maybe she's getting a no and it's right for her. But like, I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, don't put me on the spot. Don't humiliate me. Don't make it look like you're a better body worker because you got a yes and I got a no. Come on, grow up, right? Like, what? And then she was even like, Sabrina, are you done with the class? Maybe you got all that you needed from this class and it's over for you, right? So I leave there like so confused, like I'm paying money, I'm choosing to invest my time to evolve, to learn more, to get ahas about consciousness, and you're treating me like a little kid that you get to boss over and tell what to do and humiliate me and shame me. And so I knew, like I've heard stories of other people talking about how the facilitators shame them. And maybe when you go to facilitation school, they tell you that's one of the techniques to trigger people, to shame them. So like I wasn't down for it, but that was my experience. I haven't been to a class since then. It did leave a bad taste in my mouth, but I still do like some of the facilitators and I do like the information. So when I did read about the sexual abuse, like that, like I am disappointed. I am really, really disappointed because there is so much good information, right? There's so many there's so many pure tools, but can there be a pure tool and a manipulation simultaneously? And that's true. There can be. Two things can be true at the same time, even though they feel like they're in direct conflict with one another. So I just had to share with you. I'm going to put the link if you feel like researching access consciousness, feel like listening to these other ladies tell their stories, hear about how other people got out. That's up to you. All I want to say is two things can be true at the same time. If you're a person who loves consciousness, you love evolution, you love multidimensionality, you love spirituality, go for it. And wear your eyes of discernment, wear your glasses of discernment, and know, right, like when you give your power over to anyone, right, something, right, a bump's gonna happen because, right, like a bump is gonna happen when you turn your power over, when you give someone else the control, the power to make choices for you. Right? We're learning, evolution is about learning that the power is within, that sovereignty is within. You are master creator. You are the creator of your reality. And you can choose to gift your power away. That's a choice. And you can also learn that maybe you would like to take your power back and be a sovereign being. Whatever works for you. So thank you for listening. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.
Manage your own set point. Use tools to change your vibration. Raise your set point. Thank you for listening to the Keep Your Hands in Your Skirt podcast. Make sure to subscribe and please leave a review. We really appreciate that effort, and we'll catch you in the next episode.